Stay indoors if you are not on essential duty, and this is one way you can contribute to reducing the spread of the virus in our communities. In my conversation with the Regional Director of the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, we talk about the impact of coronavirus pandemic and how the United Nations is intervening. Well, now let's get an insight into how the UNFPA is tackling the coronavirus pandemic, and I'm being joined by Mr. Mabingwe Ngom. Mr. Mabingwe Ngom, thank you very much for joining us on Dateline Abuja.
My pleasure.
Now, we are in the middle of a pandemic, and I'd like to know what is the response plan for the UNFPA?
Well, thank you very much. Let me first of all mention that during the Ebola virus pandemics some years ago, United Nations Family Planning, UNFPA, did very well in terms of supporting countries of the mono-region states to roll back the pandemics. And we did three things. First, we support contact tracing. Second, we push very hard community-based engagement. And number three, we provide support to member countries so they can strengthen the health system. And if you look at it closely, the situation we have to deal now with COVID-19 is slightly different, but it is similar to the one we had in 2014-15. So currently, the United Nations Population Fund is supporting member countries around the world, building on the very successful experience we had in the Mano River Union. If you recall, in 2016, the African Union gave to United Nations Population Fund a place to appreciate how we have engaged and how we have been able to help countries. So currently, we're trying, for instance, in a place like Nigeria, to support, to strengthen the health system. We're trying to provide resources, the necessary resources, so that the national authorities and the partners can enhance the fight against the coronavirus. It's all about making sure.
Sorry, I need to butt in here quickly. Your experience during the Ebola crisis is well documented, and it's a very good job you've done back there. Now, in strengthening the health system in Nigeria, it's such a large place with a huge population. How do you want to manage this?
Well, I think Nigeria is complex, as you rightly say, not only because of the size, but also because of the architecture of the response. But Nigeria is also the place where I would say we have put the cards in our hand to win the battle, because Nigeria has space. Nigeria is very well organized, and Nigeria have a very strong national response to a crisis in place. So our role in Nigeria is about supporting the national authorities and trying to use our experience in the Mano River Union to show how to do it, to bring our contribution, and to be behind the government to make the response successful.
Talk to me about the single basket fund that was set up by the United Nations. The idea behind that is to have all donations, from the UN go into that basket. I'm wondering, though, how is that fund going to be managed?
I think first of all, I want to congratulate the team in Nigeria for really making the one UN a reality. It's all about making sure that we are aligned, that we are coordinated, that we avoid unnecessary transaction costs, and that also we remain in sync with what the government wants to do. So the idea in Nigeria is the entire UN system to come together, to put their act together, and to support the government in the most critical area they have determined. So it will be a partnership. It should be a partnership. And I want to call for the other partners to come and support the One Basket Home, to support the ongoing effort, the joint effort between the government and the United Nations family led by our Escalo, who is doing an excellent work with our team on the ground.
Well, one of the response by authorities in Nigeria, just like other countries, is the lockdown, to cut down on rate of transmission of this virus. But that has come with some problem. UNFPA, for instance, just like other groups, is reporting an increase in cases of gender-based violence. Now, do you have figures? Do you have statistics? How did you come about this report?
Look, it's something that is normal whenever you have a crisis. Usually, women and young people are the most vulnerable. They are the most affected. We have information that gender-based violence is rampant, and we need to make sure that we do two or three things. First, we get the information, and we get the information right. Second, we act on the vulnerability area. And now, three is that we continue to advocate for the protection of women and girls in crisis situations, especially protection against gender-based violence, against violence within the armed families, because when people are staying at home, there is also a tendency to have some liabilities. But we need to be aware, we need to contain, and we need to fight it, and we need to make sure that no case of abuse is left behind.
Well, it's rather ironic and interesting, isn't it, that you're trying to solve one problem and then another one is being created. There is also reports that the pandemic has created, further widened the gap of inequality between people. For instance, there is increased rate in poverty. Would you like to throw some light on this?
Well, I would say that some of these, consequences are expected. And I do believe that in most of the places, there are concrete measures being taken by the national authorities in partnership with organizations like United Nations Agency for the Program, but also other multilateral and bilaterals to make sure that we minimize to the lowest level possible these unintended consequences that come with any public policy. And I want to appreciate the ongoing effort by the member state, by the head of state, by the African leaders to contain the epidemics and to contain some of the unintended consequences of the epidemic. We have to work on them, and currently we have a few steps being taken to make sure that the most left behind, the most vulnerable, the poorest population are taken care of while we go through this very difficult time.
Yeah, well, just before I let you go quickly now, I know you have said the government, the authorities are doing very well as far as trying to curb this virus is concerned. But is there a particular place you're uncomfortable with that you think they could do some more, finally?
Well, I think I would think about places that are currently affected by humanitarian, like in the northern part of Nigeria or the entire Lake Chad Basin or the Sahel, where the epicenter is really between three countries, I would say Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. These are places that are already constrained, that are already suffering, that are already in stress. And I think we need to give more attention to them. We need to make sure that the do not add too much on them. And I think this deserves additional action. This is why I salute the leadership of the Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who launched some week ago an appeal to make sure that we have the resources we need to add to the current effort of member states so that we protect the most vulnerable and we make sure that the crisis doesn't add more people who are already too much suffering.
Regional Director, UNFPA, Mr. Mabingwe Ngom, I'd like to thank you very much for your insight on this issue and wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for staying with us. Thank you for your mails as well. Let's continue the conversations online through the email address and Twitter handle on your screen. Also, be sure to share anything happening within your locality with us. I'd like to also remind you that you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Remember also to wash your hands as many times as possible and maintain personal hygiene at all times. Thank you for watching. I'm Ibrahim Adra. Stay safe and see you next time.